Easy people, nice things here with the Akai Force 3.5 Fusion. Might have upgraded to the beta, and I felt that if I could show things that I observe which are helpful, I'd like to do that. So this is what I'm going to do, and hopefully over quite a few of these videos. I'm going to be honest here, I haven't done this in a while, so I'm going to do a lot of Blue Peter. If anybody remembers Blue Peter, or if you're Americans, you won't know Blue Peter, but they used to kind of prepare things ahead of time just to save a load of bother. It makes life quicker. If you prefer to see something where I just literally do it all in real time, that's going to be long. Anyway, this one is about tempo automation, basically being able to make the track go faster or slower or whatever. Now, the thing about 3.5, which is Ace, is it has 3 elements now. The way I look at it is it's like a triangle. You have your track, and this is on main mode. So you've got the track panel, then you've got the clip panel, which is also an arrangement panel, and then you've got the sequence. And the way I look at it is this is the bottom of this pyramid, and that's the peak of the pyramid, and everything leads to the sequence. And that's the best way of looking at it. So let's give some use cases. The first thing what you want to do, I believe, is the best practice. If you're going to do any tempo changes or anything like that, create one sequence without any. So you've got all your clips here, and you've done all your stuff and shenanigans, and you've recorded it into an arrangement. Then just create one where it's like non-tempo. So I've just typed in, wrote non-tempo. So I know that this has no tempos. Can check that because I can go to tempo here, and there's nothing there. It's blank. Ace. Right. So the next thing I'll do after that, because I've copied that by going to copy sequence, and then I'll go here and I'll go down here and I'll go to tempo version, and I'll go and do it, and it's going to copy that over to one what I'm going to work on, tempo version. So number 2 is one that I was going to work on, or I already did, and I've put tempos in here. So what it does is it goes from well, I'll explain. I'll show you. So if I go into clip and I'm on tempo here, on the tempo tab in list, because list is where you can put them, I have different tempos that I've set in. So bar 1, it's 80 BPM. Then bar 2, it's 90. Then at bar 3, it's 100. And then 4, I've done 105, and so on and so forth. How do you do that? Well, this is where it's quite cool to do it this way. If I wanted to do another tempo at bar 1 or anywhere, I select the BBT, and I use the BBT, which is this timeline here, to tell me where I want to insert things. So this is the first one. This, you insert here, you go here, and you insert. So like, I don't know, let's say, just for the sake of argument, here I'm going to insert at 5/4, and I'm going to insert something out. So I'll press insert, and then it's going to insert at 5 bars, 4 beats in, and 5 bars, 4 beats in. If you look here, you've got a little arrow telling me it's inserted something at 110. And then if I want to change that, I tap here, and then I can change that. Large numbers with the data down plus and minus. For fine numbers, shift, and shift will go into fine. I don't know why anyone would want fine, but I do know why you would want fine to fix. So we'll talk about that in a minute. This is the reason why I do it this way, because I get precision, and I know exactly what I'm doing is going to work out exactly how I want it to. So the next version is ramp version. Well, what's ramp version then? Well, basically, what happens if you've got something where it's 50 beats, and then on bar 2, it's 100 beats. It's just going to go from 50 right up. It's like a light switch, and you don't want that. You want it to ramp up. So this is where this BBT and the TC come into action. TC, which is time correction, can be used to move through all the points in the grid. So if you look at this one here, you can see I've got, at the first beat, I've got 80 BPM, but on the second beat, what I have is 2.5. And the reason why I've got that is because I put the TC in quarters, and then I've gone through this in quarters. How does that work? So if I select this and I press shift, this now will work in quarter beats. If I do the same thing, if I did that by pressing the TC here and I moved it into 16ths, close it, I don't need to do it because I'm not changing anything here. It's going to do it in quarters. And same if I go 32s or 64. If I go 64, then it's going to move 64. So you get the idea. So another thing about that is you probably don't want to do them high numbers unless it's something really like scalpel level. I would say I would use quarters or maybe eighths. I think quarters are good enough because it's like 4 beats in a bar and it's a nice shift. If you want to have something exponential, you could have 2 beats and then you could go into eighths and whatever. It depends on how you want to do it. The reason why you want to probably do it like that is at this time, obviously this is a beta. If you were to draw that information in here, you can see it's so gradual that if I was to draw that, even if I was to draw that, even with a finer resolution, if I look in list, those are crazy numbers. Those are crazy numbers. So you wouldn't want that to be that, because unless you're doing, I don't know, something speed metal or something, I guess, you're not going to have something over like 200 BPM, I don't believe. Hence the reason why I would say you want to do it to like the list like that. Now, the next stage of that, and I should have explained, the ramp version, I used the information from the tempo version. So initially I had my tempos where it was going to change speed. Then I copied that information by copying the sequence and then renamed it into a ramp version and created a ramp version of that. And the ramp version is the one where I've used that information from the previous to be able to kind of get more finesse. Now, here's a thing that you might want to do, and you might be questioning is, what happens if, say, that's all nice, but I wanted it faster? Does that mean I'm going to have to go all the way through all them again and fix them? Well, no. Because the next thing you could do is you could copy that information to another sequence, or not, use the same. But in this example, I'll get back to the live in a minute. I wanted to make it faster, so I copied it. And then all I have to do is select all and press shift. If I select all of these, so just to show you, I'll take it off one, right? If I go like this and I select all of these, that, and then all like that. And if I go right on the edge of here, right on the edge, you can scroll without deselecting. So I've got all of these, and I'll come back to the top, even though I don't have to, but just to show this. So I've got all this information now of these tempo changes. And then if I press here now and keep my finger on shift, this scales. So I can scale this information. So let me go back right down and I say, right, let's say the original, which was 80, right? The original was 80 and it's going to go by the first one. So whatever that tempo is there, it's going to go by that. So if I wanted to scale that up now, I could just move these and that'll scale by that. So now this is going to be faster, starting off at 90 BPM, and it's the same curve, same ramp, same anything. So even if I'd have used it on the one where I didn't do ramps, but I wanted it all faster by 2 BPMs or whatever, it's going to do that in scale. So that's the next thing. And then the last bit, which again is a brilliant way of working, I think, is suppose if I want to create something, but I want to have it so that, I don't know, at bar 8, it's going to have a drop, but I don't know if I want to have that at the drop. I want to test it out. I want to try it out. Well, you create a sequence. I've created a sequence where this is what I've just called a speed drop. So it's playing fast and then it just slows down and then it comes back and it's fast, right? So I've got that as my own little sequence. I can test it out now because I can just go into next sequence. So now I can go, let me just clear this. So if I go into the next sequence and I say, right, let me test this out against this tune. So I'm going to play that. So that's playing, and I'm going, yeah, cool. And then I want it to do, when it gets to the end of the sequence, I want it to drop into there in this example. Then I could do that. I can obviously do it from here as well, the same way. So I could go here and move here. The reason why you probably want to do next sequence is this. 2 reasons, actually. First of all, say if I wanted that to do that drop, I could press next bar. So I could say, I want it to do that on this drop. So that's going to go to the next bar. Say I want to go to tempo crazy. So the next bar, it's going to go tempo crazy. I do all that shenanigans here, and then I press song, and now I've created a new song. So I could go here, and all of those changes, what I've done, I've now created in a song. So here's one that I did earlier. I've done a thing, I've called it tempo crazy because it's all over the shop. But the way I can get that is, if I go to song here, I can convert this new song like tempo crazy was here. Well, this new song here, which I created there, I can go convert to sequence. For this one, I'll go here 8, and I'll say created that song there. I can go here, so number 8, and there you go. So that's a song that I've created, which now I've put back into an arrangement, a sequence. So tempo crazy was the one where it's got all this, it's going all over the shop. And if we look in arrangement, we've got all of that. And if we go to list, we can see all these tempo changes. Just thought I should mention this. If you're working on something and you are doing a lot of tempo changes, like for example this crazy one where it's all over the place, right? And you don't want to have that going on while you're working on it. All you have to do is press global, and that'll fix the tempo. So for example, with global on, I can move this to a tempo that I like, maybe 100 BPM, and then I can kind of go through it and work on whatever I want it to do. And then as soon as I'm ready, I can go back to it. So I can just take that back off. Global, and I touch it right. And I'm back into the shenanigans. All right, back to the rest of the vid. The last piece, which for me is my favorite thing about Force, is live, because I like everything about this. I think is powerful for live use. If I go to one of these versions, like I've got this ramp version, right? And I go in here and I clear that information. All the information's cleared except for the automation of that tempo stuff. So now I could go to a live version like this, and I'll do it now. I'll go here. This live version's got it's got nothing on it. Let me go here. This live version is blank. But if we look here, all the tempo stuff's there. And again, like I said, the reason why this is of great use is if I play here now, I can go through this. So I can keep going through here. So I could use it for live use. Or I could record it back in. I could record it in because the automation's already there. So I could just press and do whatever and record that information into a sequence. But better than that, what I could do is use a live version, and then I'll go copy sequence, and I'll go to here and I'll call it a clip version. So go clip version, right? And then what I can do is I can press record, not here, I want it on this one. So record, 2, 3, and so now I can record all my little bits of this, all of this information And now I don't have to worry about anything except whatever I'm using, whatever I'm creating that sequence with, just to verify that that worked. There we go. And all that information's in there. So hopefully that hasn't been too long. I'm going to try not to edit any of this. So this has been some guides to tempo automation. Just to repeat, hopefully I have said this, but I'll repeat again. You also have the information that you can use in follow actions here. So you could set up the follow actions. Me personally, I wouldn't set the tempo really, because unless I like step programming like that, then you can, and you can set all the information, and then you can record it to that. So again, multiple ways of working with this and solutions to any issues you may have had with tempo automation. Hopefully that's been of help, and I'll catch you again soon. Have fun. Peace.